Hey, so I recently got laid off from my job. Kind of sucks. So what I did was I bought this financial disaster. Don't know where this is going to take me or what I'm really going to do, but it's a start. I'm Macho. This is Macho Motors. Let's get into it. So I picked up this 2003 BMW 325i. She's a little bit of rough around the edges, of course. Needs a little bit of love, but we picked her up for only $450. It came with an automatic transmission and 160,000 miles. He also gave us the gray seats for it and an official M3 front bumper. Don't know if we're gonna put that on it because once again, we're trying to make profit off of it, so I think selling it would be a little bit better. Seats are pretty good, rear seats are pretty good. When we bought it, the guy said it does not run or drive, so we pushed it onto this dolly. I got a new battery in it that's freshly charged. Didn't ask too many questions. The guy said it overheated and he tucked it away for a year, and that's how we were able to get it for only $450. And then under the hood, it came with a Megan Racing strut bar, Raceland coilovers, and that's pretty much it. Everything else besides that is pretty stock. When I first saw the car, I checked the oil, checked the coolant. Coolant is like completely empty, bone dry. You could see kind of didn't keep up with the oil changes, a little sludgy, but she does have oil in it. We're gonna put a jump pack to it, see if she'll start. So this is pretty sweet. We got every light on the dash possible. The radio looks like it's busted. 169,000 miles. I think we have flat tires, so I'm gonna just go around the block. Oh, and brakes do not work at all. Foot went straight to the floor. We got our work cut out ahead of us. Let's just say everything is rough. So let's make a little bit of a checklist and figure out what we need to do. First drive in over a year. And still not overheating, surprisingly. So I guess first step would be to check all the codes and kind of go from there and put air in the tires. Pulling up the codes and see what we got. Here's all the codes I have. Misfire cylinder 1, mass airflow sensor, Misfire cylinder 5, and fuel control limit mixture to lean. She's actively dripping what I assume is coolant, what looks like the petcock. Okay, so we've had it running for about 5 minutes. It's starting to creep up on overheating, as you can see right there. So here's a list of things that I came up with that we need to figure out. I noticed that brake fluid is completely empty, so hopefully we don't have a leak. And if we do have a leak, hopefully it's coming from a brake hose and not a brake line. We got headlights, front bumper. There's a misfire, the radio's messed up, the coolant leak, which we know is coming from the petcock. The brake, we need to put fluid in there and see what's going on. Front seats, we're gonna switch over to gray. The shifter is missing, the rear taillight is missing, and we gotta clean and detail it. The previous owner was nice enough to give us parts for it, so kind of just dig through and see what we got. These are all fender liners. We got the missing taillight, which I knew. For some reason they took that off. Not really sure why. And a lot of trim pieces and molding, and for some reason the bulb is out, but we got our work cut out ahead of us. So we got this side all buttoned up, just gotta tighten this last bolt, and then she's in. Once again, still don't understand why it wasn't on there, but it's all on there now once I get this last piece in. Taillight is done, and we can check that off our list. Next thing I wanted to get done today, let's get new seats in here. Let's get the gray ones back in, making it all cohesive, one color. So let's get to it. seats from the previous owner. Really don't know why he did it. There's one little imperfection right there, but overall it's in really good shape. And then the tan seats that we had before. So let's get these babies in. So now I wanted to address how badly it's running. It's completely shaking the whole car. We're putting new spark plugs in because, as you know, we got a misfire code on cylinder 1 and 5. We got brand new NGK spark plugs, looking pretty. So I forgot that I got this endoscope, so we're gonna check out the cylinder heads. Check out cylinder number 1. Okay, there we go. Oh, that is a clean puppy inside. Bro, those cylinders, they look super clean. Beautiful, nice and shiny. Beautiful, another super clean. And the last one's too hard to get to, so I'm gonna just assume that one's clean too. So motor looks really healthy. I think with new spark plugs, the misfire should go away. So we got the brand new spark plugs here. We're gonna put them in, nice and easy. Put in new spark plugs and that didn't change anything.
At least we checked though. We crossed it out, you know? Yeah, that's good. That's tight.
And then I noticed it doesn't make a difference if it's on or off. This might be a big culprit to why we're misfiring so badly. So we're looking into the low brake fluid situation. I just topped it off and we're gonna be looking for leaks. Just looking for any signs of leakage or seepage or anything. Right now I see that wheel. It's getting pretty wet right there. That wheel is dry. I'm not seeing any other leaks down here. Okay, so after several presses on the brake pedal, you can see brake fluid is starting to leak out of this wheel. So we're gonna take this wheel off and see what's going on. So finally we got the brake leak all situated. It looks crazy underneath, but it's no longer leaking brake fluid. Brake hose was replaced. So we ordered a whole bunch of parts for the BMW that just came in. We're gonna see if we could get the headlights from somebody today, and hopefully we'll get a lot of progress done. So we have tons and tons of parts that just came in for the BMW. We got new air filter, spark plugs, some brake components. So we are gonna get into fixing all the issues that we have with the BMW. So we're on our way to pick up a car that will hopefully make fixing the BMW a little bit easier. And this is what we ended up picking up, a 2001 BMW 325i. I just thought it would be easier to get all the parts we need with a whole parts car. This may not make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me. It's got every part we need. The only thing is the car came with a messed up title. The owner signed it all in the wrong spot, and that's why we were able to get it for what I think was pretty cheap. I purchased this car for $800. I've already sold $200 worth of parts on it, so right now we have $600 into it. I think it was a good purchase. I don't know if you guys agree with it, but we're gonna start taking parts off of this car. And just like that, one-handed, the front bumper is off of the BMW. Same exact metallic stagru that the other car has. So yeah, easy peasy swap. Honestly, it's been a couple days. The E46 has been kicking my butt on trying to figure out why it still has a misfire. Still, she's sounding rough, sounding very angry. And we still got all the lights on the dash there. So my thought process was we checked for spark with the new spark plugs, and the ignition coils aren't changing the check engine light. The mass airflow sensor has been replaced, so we no longer have that check engine light. So I went for fuel, And this is what I found. So when I first bought this car, I saw a mouse run out underneath it, and I was like, oh, that's not a good sign. And I pulled out the back seats to get to the fuel pump, and here is the nest. So I'm expecting a chewed wire or something. That one seems untouched, but this one here, I'm thinking might be the culprit. So we're gonna tear into this and hopefully we found our issue. Ooh, that is quite a nest. All right, I'm gonna pull out the vacuum because I'm not trying to touch all of this, and clear this out. Ooh, we're getting a good smell coming from it. So vacuum time and see what's underneath. So besides it being dirty, I'm not seeing anything too crazy in there. You will not believe how happy I am that I got this ring off with so much PB Blaster. I even bought this fuel cap removal tool, which came in clutch. Like I said, tons of PB Blaster, every tool I could possibly find. But we finally got the fuel pump loose. So we're gonna siphon out the tank because I'm pretty sure the last owner said he hasn't driven it in over 2 years. And one of the reasons why it could have trouble running is because of the really old fuel. It doesn't smell terrible. I've smelled some really bad fuel, but I'm just so happy that I got this off. I might replace the fuel pump while I'm in here just to give me extra peace of mind that it's nothing related to the fuel system. So I'm gonna work on getting this out and show you what the fuel looks like. Here is what the fuel is looking like. Really nice orange color. There's a little junk in there, but nothing too crazy. So we're going to suction all of this out, get some fresh fuel in there, start it back up, and hope for the best. Okay, so all we do is pump it like we're pumping a bicycle, and we got fluid going in. Here's the results of the gas tank, completely emptied out. I try my best to clean all the little specks, but kind of hard to do. So we're gonna fill her up with some brand new gas and see how she runs. So this is the moment of truth. I got everything loosely put back together. Put 3 gallons of fresh fuel in her. Key in the ignition. I'm gonna prime the fuel system a little bit. Still the same thing. All right, back to the drawing board. I definitely think it's fuel related, obviously with the codes and how crappy the fuel was. Might look into the fuel filter and then the fuel injectors and kind of go from there, but still running terribly. So after about a week of re-diagnosing, I literally started from scratch, looking at the spark plugs, back to the ignition coil, checking the fuel, making sure it was getting good fuel pressure. It ended up being the ignition coil. So there's 3 bad ignition coils on the car. I replaced 2 of them already, and it started running a lot better. So the bad ignition coil, I switched over to number 1 because it's nice and easy. All it is a clip, and you just pull it out. A little rusty, and it's not even an OEM brand. It's just some weird knockoff one. Put it in the new one. Make sure you get the click. Now we push that in. Good, everything's good. Giving it another push. With the 3 new ignition coils, we should no longer have a misfire. Moment of truth. Fingers crossed, because I am so tired of working on this car. A lot better right now. Idling at 900 RPMs. So far, no check engine lights. I'm sure that'll change very shortly. We still got other things to work on, but as long as the engine and transmission are healthy, we're definitely going to get our money's worth. And before, I don't know if you remember, but we were idling around 500 RPM, so definitely a huge difference. And she's staying alive so far. I think we may have fixed her. I'm so happy right now. You have no idea. I've been working on this car for a while now, and it was just ignition coils, which I thought I checked when I first did this, but apparently I checked incorrectly. $100 BMW, and it was just ignition coils. She still needs other work. I'm gonna put brand new brakes. We're gonna do an oil change on her, and hopefully she's running great. But this is probably the end of the BMW journey. So obviously it's not the ending that I would have hoped, or probably you would have hoped. I wanted to go more into details on fixing the car. I don't want to get too deep into details because if you follow me on Instagram, then you already saw that video. But I did want to at least conclude this BMW because I don't like to let it feel like it's unfinished. So we did end up making profit on both of them. Super happy about that. We ended up selling the $100 BMW to a car flipper. So we bought the car for $400. We sold the front seats and the front bumper for $300. So that made us have our $100 BMW. We had the box of parts that we bought for $166. It needed a new window motor, which we replaced. That was $26. For the new gas, the tools, and the ignition coils, that was $70. Bringing our grand total to, and we ended up selling the car for way lower than I think it was worth, but it's okay because we made profit of $1,350. So that leaves us with a profit of almost $1,000, profit of $988. Like I said, I wanted $3,000 for it after it was fixed up, but for the parts car, we ended up doing really well on that too. So from an $800 that we purchased, we sold all these parts. Grand total profit from an $800 car of $824. I'm really sorry with how the video ended. I really didn't want it to end like this. I'm sure it probably feels weird from a YouTube perspective to follow along this process and then come to an abrupt end. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Macho. This is Macho Motors. If you're looking forward to more content like this, fix and flips, just general car stuff and quick tips, so I'm really happy to start this journey. I'm happy to have you watch for this long, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and let's get started on this journey. Thanks again.